man, I wanted to do this before you guys got here. I'm filling up my gas tank because the Lada's got not the best gas gauge. I kind of joke that when it says it's got a quarter tank left, it really means there's nothing left. So I figured this would be a little less embarrassing than running out of gas with you all in the car. I'm from Virginia, so very close to Washington, D.C. I was actually born in D.C. After school, I decided I really liked traveling. I had done a semester in Singapore and traveled around Southeast Asia, and I thought, well, okay, I could get a job in this. I'd be working in a lab. I'd be doing something I really liked. But I wanted something a bit more adventurous and engaging, at least for a bit. And so I decided to join the Peace Corps after a lot of thought. And like I said before, they sent me to Kazakhstan first, and I was an English teacher for about 9 months. When I lived in Kazakhstan, my doctor with the Peace Corps and my manager were both Moldovan. And they'd both been born here, and both of them really strongly talked about Moldova as a place that beautiful country, wonderful wine, and really nice people. I'm like, well, that sounds about all you'd want. So I decided to come here and then served as a volunteer here for 2 years. And I found basically all 3 of those things were true enough that I chose to stay. You know. The car, I wanted a house, so I could be outside a little bit, could like work on the car. Thought it'd be fun to grill. We've got a smoker and a little grill here. But I definitely envisioned something a little different than this when I was looking. But then we found this place, and it was like, well, geez, it's great position right in the center of the city. You can walk to work, beautiful cellar, and the house itself has got a nice kind of modern remodel. So it's like, man, the neighbors are out here. They cook shashlik. We're a bunch of friends. They make their own samagon and wine, of course. And so we have like a little village in the middle of Chisinau. Her name is Nadezhda. I like old cars. So I think people probably think I'm a little crazy for owning a Lada. But I actually, in the US, I had a 1965 Ford Falcon. Not even a very cool old car, but a very old one. And so it makes the Lada look really young. And you gotta do all kinds of weird stuff to keep an old car going. So I've gotten used to it. Let's hope she starts. That'd be a little embarrassing, right? My first month driving in Chisinau was also terrifying. Because, you know, there are no lines on the roads or signs, and at some point I kind of realized that everyone just kind of knows what the rules are and behaves that way.
It's like an instinct.
It's kind of an instinct, but it's also practice. It's like, but if you come from not here and you have to know like what do you do at a given place, it's like, oh my God, how do you figure this out? One of the first days I actually wound up over at the North Gara turnaround, and that like almost figure 8 of a circle is just insane, and like, and everyone's honking. I've also discovered that you know, I think you could say that if you're driving a BMW, you can do no wrong. If you're driving a Lada, you're always wrong. Opening a restaurant here was very hard, for a lot of reasons. not you know, whenever I say that, most people, they jump in and the first thought is corruption and things like that. It's true. Bureaucracy, really focus on just how bureaucratic, how slow, how difficult to figure different things out. But then also dealing with suppliers, partner companies. You know, our joke kind of in Moldova is like everything is harder than it should be. Everything. but nothing's impossible. You can do it, it just takes time.
Sistemul e construit în felul următor ca cât mai complicat oamenii să deschidă afaceri. Și eu cred că asta, părerea mea personală, care eu am explicat mai multe ori, este că totul asta vine din Uniunea Sovietică. Afacerist, speculant. Noi suntem răi, noi avem bani, noi suntem acei bogătași, chestia asta. Și tot până la mai persistă chestia asta, că dacă tu ai bani, trebuie să te împarți cu cineva. Și păcat, pentru că nu-i drept. Noi nu avem așa de mulți bani cum oamenii cred. Noi aducem plus valoare la stat, noi plătim taxe la stat, noi angajăm oameni la stat, noi aducem beneficiu la stat. Și noi trebuie să ne mulțim ca florile. Dar filozofia asta, când un antreprenor intră într-o instituție de stat, din păcate, a venit, aici e cu bani, aici e, hai să da, ți-ți trebuie tu și cum ar plăcere eu aș face, problema este că eu nu pot.
When we opened, the minimum time to get basically authorize a restaurant to function was 72 days. And the reason for that, we discovered, was that, you know, nothing can be done at the same time. You know, oh, I need to get an authorization from the veterinary department that says I don't kill animals. They don't do an inspection. You just pay 50 lei, sign a thing, they stamp it and give it to you. But they have up to 20 days to do it. And so you'll pay it, they'll put the paper right in front of you, unsigned, and they're like, basically, here's where it will be for the next 20 days. Just here, come back in 20 days, no problem.
Deci la noi nu-ți cere mită direct, asta ei se învățați deja să nu fac chestia asta, da, trebuie să te pricepi așa. Deci să spun că pe noi direct așa ne-a oferit, eu cred că de 2 ori eu am înțeles asta chiar acolo și așa și eu, deci nu. Dar nu era și concret ceva, zic, noi nu-ți facem asta dacă nu faci asta. Înțelegi? De asta ei se tare învățați. Da, nici nu era perioadă, e pur și simplu eu zic, un mulțumesc din partea, eu am plătit taxe la stat, dacă îmi dai check, da, nicio problemă.
I've lived in Belts, I've lived in Village as well, and you see how people really live. And you see the difficulty day to day of people trying to get basic services, and there's just corruption kind of everywhere with it. You grow to hate it, and then I've grown to love Moldova and hate that most of those businesses I worked with to start up didn't. And the number one reason they told me when they were like, nah, I'm just gonna move to Italy and work construction or something, is corruption. They're like, I could do this if basically the corruption and the bureaucracy didn't get in my way. I could start something here, but with all this problem, I can't. And so that made me hate it. Deeper than that, my grandfather was a police officer in Baltimore during big corruption scandals in the 70s, and kind of he raised my mom on the fact that, like, you never participate in any way. You can never see $1 change hands, because $1 always turns into 2. And yeah, it's easier to do this now, but it always gets deeper. So we're here at the office of the Foreign Small Enterprise Alliance, or FC, and we're an association of small businesses coming together in Moldova to work together, supporting basically a fairer, more clear business environment for all of us. And our companies, together, we meet, we do networking, and do various different activities in order to support our members in doing honest, clean business here in Moldova.
Noi suntem o asociație care reprezentăm mai multe industrii. Avem producători de produse alimentare din industria alimentară, avem prestatori de servicii, de consultanță, avem importatori și producători de cherestea și de paleți, avem restaurante, avem agenții de știri. Cam asta este, în general, profilul membrilor noștri. Undeva 40% din membrii noștri sunt companii străine, 60% sunt companii moldovenești.
So we decided to raise a collective voice so that it won't just be my business talking to a reporter and saying, well, this was really tough, or dealing with a ministry and being like, you need to make this better. We can collectively go and say, we encourage change, and here's the type of change we would like to see. The time we've seen here, we have seen reforms, and some of them have been a lot of well-intentioned things. Some have been meaningful, but it's just slow, and you don't get that real feeling that people are really trying to reduce the overhead, the stress, the time, and the bureaucracy on small business. And I think part of that is at a low level. All of that feeds corruption, and you've got to make a choice between corruption and an economy. You've got to choose between, the black cash and the taxable money, and that's kind of the point things are at. I'm optimistic that things are going to go in the right direction. I think in some ways they already are, but fundamentally, the great challenge of a business person coming in here is that you just get chewed up and spat out by this bureaucratic nightmare. When, and I believe it's a when, this country, this system, things improve to a degree that you can transparently, easily open a business, get authorized to function, hire employees, deal with labor code. The easier that gets, the more quickly you'll see economic growth, wages will rise, all these things that, pretty much everyone agrees are important in Moldova. And as a business owner, I care about because I'd like to see my business grow here. I built something and I'd like to build more here. I'd like to have more opportunities.